Okay, so all right, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. So tonight we're gonna be diving in, and we're gonna be looking at how to recreate that Noisia bass sound. So we're gonna look at why those bass sounds sound amazing, but never fall apart. So stick around for the next 10 minutes and we'll figure that out. So if your basses sound insane, but like they sound really good in solo, but weak in your track, it's not usually your mix. It's because you designed chaos before clarity. So what that means is that you design your bass to be chaotic before you design it to be clear. And we're going to see just what Noisia does in their production to create those clear basses. Hint, hint, Noisia, they do the opposite. So they design clarity before they design for chaos. So let's dive right in. So I'm going to show you how to build that out and show you the exact rule that keeps it aggressive, but never messy. So let's dive right in. Got our basic patch. Okay, so we got this. And with most producers, the mistake that most producers make, they design a crazy bass, but they try to fix it with EQ, and that's like the opposite of what we want to do. As I said before, Noisia designs their bass with clarity first, and then they stack aggression on top of it. So clarity isn't so much. It's not the patch. So I should say, if clarity isn't designed into your patch from the beginning, no mixing or mastering or mixing will save it. So clarity in your patch must be designed into your patch for it to be sounding good. So this is my sound design tool of choice. We got Reaktor here, and a good example to listen to before this is probably Stigma by Noisia. You can go ahead, pull it up on Spotify and listen to Stigma. And listen to this up. It's boring on purpose because all the violence or all the energy or all the chaos comes from the mid-range. And that's the first rule. So I'm going to add in a sub-layer first. So we can do it like this. And we can kind of replicate that here. So let's bring up our panel. And oops. Trying to bring up my view. Oops. Okay, where is my actual panel? Oops. There we go. I wasn't clicking things that, okay. It's like, where's my panel? So I want to view both views. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to add in a mix. We're going to blend them together. So let's do a mix 4. We'll duplicate our oscillator. We'll have oscillator 1. We'll call that our sub layer. And then we'll have another one, and that will be our mid. We can just call it that for now. And we'll wire this up. So you got our left and right connections. Oh, let's do a filter. Then out. Oops. Out left and right. And then we'll duplicate that. Add another oscillator. And we will, we'll add a VCA. I need one with left and right ports. Just gonna delete that one. And let's just make sure this is working. Let's turn up the volume. We're getting some sound from both of our filters. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. So we have the first layer. We'll pitch it down. There we go. We call that our sub. Detune slightly. We'll keep that as a sine wave. And then we'll have our mid layer. And we'll call this the more aggressive layer. And finally, I'll add my gate so I have some control. Oops, took out my left ear. There we go. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to organize my panel a little bit. Our filter oscillators go first, usually. And then we have our filters, followed by our VCA. Just looking for my other filter. Oh, there it is at the front. So we'll put them beside each other. That looks pretty good. So we got our sound. But I'll make sure I can trigger these. Turning up our modulation depth. And finally, our sustain on our envelope. We got our bass sound. And now we can modulate our second layer and show you the difference. So we'll use our saw. We'll actually use the second layer as a saw. Make it a little bit more obvious. Get some clarity. Okay. Okay, speed that up. We got our saw on top. Okay, sounded pretty good. Let's bring our filter around the 600 hertz range for our second filter. Bring out that mid. That's sounding pretty good. So there you can see already, we haven't even added modulation and we're getting movement, but just by detuning slightly with our our sub layer and our mid layer, and we haven't even added distortion or anything else. So we don't want to move our sub layer. Remember that if this moves, everything else collapses. That's our mid with our sub back in. Okay, so we're gonna add one slow LFO, only one movement to this, just to complete it. And we can, just to replicate what Noisia does, Noisia likes to add in chaos in terms of adding it like seasoning, not like sauce, but more like seasoning. So we're going to sprinkle it in. So I'm going to grab an LFO, which is a low frequency oscillator, to affect our second filter. So we're going to affect our second layer. So I'm going to grab, you can see the modulation depth there, and I'm going to add a little LFO. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So when we add slower movement, we get rhythm, and when we add faster movement, we get texture. So I'm gonna add some faster movements here to our modulation, and to our LFO, and it's gonna get more texturized. Okay, so fast modulation equals grit. Slow modulation equals more musical phrasing. So when everything moves fast, it becomes a little bit messy. When everything moves slow, it becomes too boring. So we want to get something that's in the middle. So this bass kind of still sounds clean in the grand scheme of things, and that's a problem. So tomorrow we'll add some texture, and without destroying it, without destroying the clarity. So stick around for the next episode tomorrow, or in our next live stream, and I will build out something with a little more grit. So hopefully learn something in this session, and I'll see you in the next live stream. So today's homework assignment, comment in chat if you learned something today about sound design, or if you have any suggestions for future episodes, I'd like to hear them. And your assignment for today is to build one sub and one mid, add a slow mod and one fast mod. So you want to stop the moment the clarity breaks in your sound, and that stopping point is how taste is built. So that's it. So hopefully you learned something in this session. Tomorrow we'll turn texture into rhythm, same patch, more intention, and I'll see you in the next sound design. And just remember, if there isn't clarity in your patch, no mix will save it. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.